Welcome back, coin lovers. Today's video is going to blow your mind, because we're diving deep into the most valuable pennies ever discovered. Coins so rare, they're worth millions of dollars. These tiny pieces of copper might look ordinary, but behind their simple shine lies history, mystery, and jaw-dropping value. So grab your magnifying glass and check your change, because who knows? You might be holding a fortune in your pocket right now. Before we talk about the most valuable pennies worth millions, let's take a moment to explore the incredible history of the penny itself. This small copper coin has a big story, one that stretches over 100 years of American history. From the very first Lincoln wheat penny minted in 1909 to the modern Lincoln Memorial and Shield designs, every version of the penny carries a piece of the nation's legacy. Over time, its composition changed from pure copper to zinc. Its design evolved, and its value in collectors' eyes skyrocketed. So before we reveal those rare and jaw-dropping million-dollar pennies, let's travel back through time and uncover how this tiny coin became a symbol of history, luck, and hidden treasure. The story of the American penny begins in 1909, when the very first Lincoln cent was introduced to celebrate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person's portrait, a bold move that changed coin design forever. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the 1909 penny displayed Lincoln's profile on the front and 2 wheat stalks on the back, earning it the nickname Wheat Penny. From 1909 to 1958, the wheat design became one of the most beloved coin types in America. These coins were made mostly of copper, and some early versions even carried Brenner's initials VDB at the bottom, a small detail that would later make certain pennies extremely valuable to collectors. In 1959, to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, the reverse design changed to the Lincoln Memorial, featuring the Grand Monument from Washington, D.C. This version ran until 2008, and it's the penny most people remember using in everyday life. Then in 2009, to honor the 200th anniversary of Lincoln's birth and the 100th anniversary of the Lincoln cent, 4 different reverse designs were released, each showing a different stage of Lincoln's life, from his humble log cabin beginnings to his time in the White House. Finally, in 2010, the Union Shield design was introduced, symbolizing unity and strength, the penny's current design that still circulates today. Over the years, the metal composition of the penny has also changed. Early pennies were made of 95% copper, but as copper prices rose, the U.S. Mint switched to a zinc core with a thin copper coating in 1982. This change created some interesting varieties and minting errors, and as you'll see later, a few of them turned out to be worth thousands and even millions of dollars. So now that you know the incredible journey of the penny, it's time to explore the most exciting part, the rarest and most valuable pennies ever discovered. Coins that can turn a single cent into a life-changing fortune. Now, let's start our list with one of the most legendary coins in American history, the 1943 copper penny, also known as the $1,000,000 penny. During World War II, copper was a critical metal, needed for military supplies like bullets and shell casings. To save copper for the war effort, the U.S. Mint decided to make pennies out of zinc-coated steel in 1943. These silver-colored steel cents were meant to replace copper pennies entirely for that year. But here's where things get fascinating. Due to a minting error, a few 1943 pennies were accidentally struck on leftover copper planchets from 1942. These rare mistakes were never meant to exist, yet a handful slipped into circulation. Imagine finding a coin that was never supposed to be made. That's exactly what happened. Only about 15 to 20 genuine 1943 copper pennies are known to exist, making them one of the most valuable coins in the world. Depending on their condition, these coins have fetched jaw-dropping prices at auction, from $100,000 all the way up to over $1.7 million. One of the most famous examples was sold at auction for $175 million, bought by a businessman who had dreamed of owning this coin since childhood. Talk about a dream come true. So if you ever come across a 1943 penny that looks reddish-brown instead of silver, don't spend it. It could be worth a fortune. And that's just the beginning, because the next rare penny on our list is another collector's favorite, a coin that started a craze among numismatists all around the world. Next on our list is a true classic, the 1909 VDB Lincoln Wheat Penny, one of the most iconic and sought-after coins in American history. The story of this coin begins with the introduction of the Lincoln cent in 1909, marking the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it was the first U.S. coin to ever feature a real person's portrait, a bold move that made headlines across the country. On the reverse side, Brenner added his initials VDB at the bottom of the coin, standing proudly between the wheat stalks. But soon after the release, some critics complained that the designer's initials were too large and too prominent. As a result, the US Mint quickly ordered the removal of the initials. And that's when history was made. Before the change took effect, only a small number of coins were minted in San Francisco with the S mint mark in the VDB initials, creating one of the rarest and most desirable pennies ever. Today, the 1909 VDB penny is considered a holy grail for collectors. With just around 484,000 pieces minted, finding one in high grade is like striking gold. Depending on its condition, this coin can sell anywhere from $1,000 for a worn piece to over $60,000 for one in pristine mint condition. In recent years, auctions have seen record-breaking prices for this coin, a perfect example of how history, art, and rarity combine to create true numismatic treasure. So next time you come across an old wheat penny, take a close look at the back. If you spot those tiny letters VDB at the bottom and an S under the date, congratulations. You've just found one of the most legendary pennies in the world. And if you think that's incredible, wait until you hear about the next one. A mysterious penny from 1955 that left everyone scratching their heads. Now, let's move on to one of the most famous and eye-catching error coins ever discovered. The 1955 Doubled Die Lincoln penny. This coin is legendary, not just for its rarity, but for the dramatic mistake that made it instantly recognizable even to the naked eye. In 1955, during the minting process at the Philadelphia Mint, a major error occurred when the die, the stamp that strikes the design onto the coin, was misaligned during production. As a result, the coin's image was struck twice, creating a bold double image effect on the inscriptions and the date. When you look closely at a genuine 1955 Doubled Die penny, you can clearly see that the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" appear to have been printed twice, slightly off from each other, as if the coin has a built-in shadow. It's one of the most dramatic and noticeable minting errors in US coin history. What makes this coin even more fascinating is that thousands of them accidentally entered circulation, mixed in with regular pennies before anyone at the mint realized the mistake. People began finding these strange-looking coins in their pocket change, and soon collectors across America were hunting for them everywhere. Today, the 1955 Doubled Die penny is a dream find for collectors. Depending on its condition, it can sell for anywhere between $2,000 and $25,000, and exceptionally preserved examples have fetched over $50,000 at auction. It's a perfect reminder that sometimes, even a small error can turn an ordinary coin into a piece of history worth a fortune. But the surprises don't stop there, because up next, we'll look at another penny that shocked collectors with its rarity and mysterious disappearance. The 1944 steel penny? A coin so rare it's worth hundreds of thousands of dollars today. Next on our list is a coin so rare that even experienced collectors dream of owning it. The 1944 steel penny? One of the most mysterious and valuable coins ever minted by the US Mint. To understand this coin, we need to go back to World War II once again. In 1943, the US Mint produced pennies made of zinc-coated steel instead of copper, since copper was needed for the war effort. But in 1944, after the war demand for copper decreased, the Mint switched back to the traditional copper composition. However, a few leftover steel, planchets from 1943, were accidentally fed into the presses in 1944, and that's how the 1944 steel penny was born. These coins were never supposed to exist, and that's exactly what makes them so incredibly valuable today. Only a handful of authentic 1944 steel pennies are known to exist. Experts estimate around 30 to 40 pieces, mostly minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Because of this extreme rarity, every discovery of one causes a sensation in the numismatic world. One of these 1944 steel pennies sold at auction for an astonishing $408,000, and another fetched over $375,000, proving that this small silvery coin is truly worth its weight in gold, or even more. Collectors can easily confuse this coin with the 1943 copper penny. But there's a key difference. The 1944 steel penny sticks to a magnet, while the copper one does not. So if you ever find a silvery 1944 penny, grab a magnet immediately. It might just be a six-figure treasure. And speaking of shocking finds, the next penny on our list is another stunning rarity. A coin from the late 1960s that took collectors completely by surprise. The 1969 Doubled Die obverse penny. Now let's talk about another jaw-dropping rarity that shook the coin collecting world. The 1969 Doubled Die obverse penny one of the most stunning and valuable era coins ever discovered. In 1969, something unusual happened at the San Francisco Mint. A batch of Lincoln cents was struck using a die that had been accidentally engraved twice, but slightly out of alignment. The result? A striking doubled image on the front side, obverse, of the coin, especially visible on the inscriptions "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the date 1969. At first glance, it looks almost unreal, as if the coin's text is echoing itself. The doubling is so sharp and dramatic that it immediately stands out, even to an untrained eye. But when these coins first appeared, the U.S. Secret Service got involved because they believed they were counterfeit. That's how convincing and unique these coins looked. Once confirmed to be genuine minting errors, the 1969 Doubled Die Pennies became instant legends among collectors. Only a very small number were ever found. Experts estimate fewer than 100 authentic pieces exist today. Their value has skyrocketed over the years. Depending on the condition, one of these coins can easily sell for $30,000 to $60,000, and in pristine mint state, examples have been auctioned for over $120,000. The bold doubling, combined with the tiny S mint mark under the date, makes this coin one of the rarest and most desired Lincoln cents in history. So if you ever come across a 1969 penny with unusually bold lettering, don't ignore it. It could be worth more than a luxury car. But hold on, because the next coin on our list proves that even a small change in design can lead to massive value. Coming up next, the 1972 Doubled Die Penny, another famous era coin that collectors simply can't get enough of. Now let's move to another incredible treasure from the world of minting errors, the 1972 Doubled Die Obverse Penny, a coin that has amazed collectors for decades and continues to rise in value year after year. In 1972, at the Philadelphia Mint, a small batch of Lincoln cents was struck using a die that had been engraved twice but slightly misaligned. The result was a bold, clear doubling on the coin's front, especially on the words "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the date 1972 itself. The doubling on this coin is so sharp that it's instantly visible without a magnifying glass. And that's what makes it so special. Unlike some rare era coins that exist in only a handful of examples, there are actually a few thousand 1972 Doubled Die Pennies known today, but finding one in perfect uncirculated condition is extremely difficult. And that's where the real money lies. A regular 1972 Doubled Die Penny found in circulation might bring in $300 to $600, but in high mint state grades, like MS-65 or MS-66, collectors have paid $3,000 to over $14,000 for just one coin. The sharper the doubling and the cleaner the surface, the higher the price skyrockets. The U.S. Mint even released several minor varieties that year, but only the major doubled die variety, known as FS101, among collectors, holds that serious premium value. So if you have any old 1972 pennies sitting around, grab a magnifying glass and take a close look at the date. If you spot that strong doubling, you might just be holding a piece of American coinage history worth thousands. And speaking of valuable surprises, the next penny on our list is one that shocked everyone when it appeared, a rare transitional error from the early 1980s that turned an ordinary coin into a small fortune. Coming up next, the 1982 copper and zinc transition penny, a hidden treasure that could be sitting in your pocket right now. And there you have it, some of the most valuable and legendary pennies ever minted, coins that turned ordinary pocket change into life-changing treasures. From the 1909 VDB Wheat penny that started a collecting revolution, to the 1943 copper penny worth over $1 million, these tiny coins prove that history and fortune can fit right in the palm of your hand. Every penny tells a story of design, of mistakes, of time itself. And that's what makes coin collecting so magical. So next time you find an old penny in your drawer, your wallet, or even in your pocket change, take a closer look. Who knows? You might be holding a piece of history worth thousands or even millions. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on more rare coin stories, hidden treasures, and valuable discoveries. This is Vlogs by Fayaz, and I'll see you in the next video, where we'll uncover even more rare coins worth big money.